Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So this is like the fourth time I've tried to record this. I've forgotten how to do voiceovers. I don't know. I can't think of what to say or how to say it right, and I feel like I sound like an idiot. So there's that. But yeah, I've taken a nice long break this year, and aside from live streaming, I haven't done any real content, like drawing and editing and voiceovering and adding music and all that fun stuff, that comes with having a YouTube channel. I feel like maybe I got burnt out. Definitely felt like unmotivated to do art for sure. And if y'all watched my last live streams where I painted that lamb and cross for my grandma, I even said I wasn't even really all that motivated then, but I had to do it. I had to get it done, And then my coworker Chrissy, she was like, hey, I'm gonna come up with an art challenge, do you want to do it? And I was like, I don't know, man. And she was like, come on, it'll be fun. And I was like, okay. So she sent it to me, and sorry, I yawned. She sent it to me, and the theme was alien UFO, and it had to have sunglasses in it, and it had to have keys in it, and it's really cool because we watched 1000, her and I, and so I know she was definitely inspired by 1000 to do the art challenge and have the specific items that you have to integrate into the art. And I thought that was really cool. 1000 just be inspiring everybody, he's so wonderful. So then a few days later, she was like, do you want to see what I drew? And I was like, yes. And she showed me, and it was so stinking cute. And she drew this early 90s, well, I say early, 90s to early 2000s kind of black light alien vibe, it was really cute. And then he was all doing the peace sign and beaming up a piñata, and the piñata had some keys, and they were in the desert, and the colors were real vibrant and pretty, and I was like, this is so stinking cute, I love it. And then a couple weeks had gone by. Oh, I'm so sorry, I keep yawning. A couple weeks had gone by, and now it's the deadline's the 20th, and today's the 18th. And I was like, I guess I better get off my butt and actually do this challenge, So a few days ago, I was kind of sketching, just randomly sketching. And I was trying to think about an alien, but I didn't want to do a stereotypical alien, with the big head and the big eyes, and he's green, and the ones. Just I didn't want to do that one. Plus Chrissy already did that, and I didn't want to copy her. I want to try to come up with something unique. And I love darumas, and I think they're really cool. So I started drawing that, and I was like, well, what if I give him arms and legs? And then I was trying to think what would look really cool on him, so I was kind of scribbling, and I came up with the plants growing off of him or something. And I was like, does that even look like an alien? So I added some extra eyeballs, and then some funny little glowing swirly pattern on his stomach. And I was like, yeah, that looks a little more alien. I don't know. What does an alien even really look like? I guess it can look like anything. It could be any type of creature, It doesn't, I don't know. Like I said, I just didn't want to do the little green man. I wanted to do something different. I guess I did that. And then right next to him, I drew him holding the keys. I definitely, I don't know if you guys have seen those, giant key rings that these women be carrying around. But like I was at Hobby Lobby and they had some, and they had these ones with like these geometric pastel blocks, and I thought that it was really pretty. And so I was thinking about that, and that's what I tried to kind of model him holding the keys on, was like one of those type of key rings. But then I wanted to draw like a second alien, and I made this one all blobby. And when I got to do the digital side, you know, because everything was all sketched out in like a ballpoint pen, and I did like a county UFO. I pulled it into my Medibang, and I started working on the girl. Oh my gosh. I thought it was really funny to do like the, hiya Barbie, hi Ken, wanna go for a ride? Sure Ken. Like, I thought that would be kind of funny. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. But since I did the Barbie thing, I did kind of tweak up her original sketch, and I gave her like a giant bun on the top of her head because I wanted her to look like she was obviously female, aside from eyelashes, you know, on her eyes. And I also gave her bangs. And I think she looks a little bit cuter this way. And then once I got to coloring her in, I went with like this baby blues, and I tried to make sure there was plenty of shadows for contrast in there, some highlights, trying to make her look as liquidy as possible, to the best of my ability. And then I was like, well, she is kind of translucent. Like, what if you could see her organs, you know? So I drew like a heart and a stomach and some intestines, and there's like a little bit of an esophagus there. And after I got done coloring everything like blues, I went back in with like a little bit of pink and just kind of touched up on the fleshy bits. So there's like hints of pink. She also has a little pink in her cheeks, some on her tongue. I gave her the shades. They were originally going to be circles, but I changed them to hearts. I am like obsessed with like heart-shaped sunglasses. I think they're really cool. Zinni Optical has like a ton of heart-shaped glasses on their website, and I want to buy a pair so bad, but I'm afraid people will laugh at me and think I look like an idiot. But I think they're cute. I love weird, quirky glasses, so whatever. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to be my true self. Who knows? So yeah, oh girl, I got her done. She took like, golly, to trace and color about 2 hours. And then the little red guy, he didn't take near as long. Like, he took about an hour, like, all together. But I wasn't going in with as much depth with his shading either. His was way more cell shaded than hers is. Hers was like a little more blended, you know? So like the shading doesn't exactly match on the two. So I did that. And then the cow is easy. I love the wiggly golden beams coming out from under the UFO. Like, not only was it really easy to do, visually, it just looks cool. I liked that. But, you know, at the end of, like, the little statement where he's like, want to go for a ride? Hop in. I was like, well, what if I did the words hop in at the bottom? But I wanted the words to be hopping into something. So I took the O out of hop, and I created a giant circle ring, and I put the rest of the letters like they were hopping into the O. And in my head, it was cool. But after I drew it and then stared at it forever, it looked kind of stupid. So I don't know if I really like it as much as I initially did. And then would anybody understand without me explaining it? Like, they're going to be like, what does HP mean? Well, it's hop. The O is under it, you know? I don't know. See, when you have to explain it, it's not cool anymore. And then coming up with the background was kind of hard. Like, I did like a mountain scene and I wanted the clouds, and I tried to layer them and then add like gradients and stuff. But, I can't tell, is it too dark? Is it too much color? Because then everything just started looking really, really muddy, you know? And I tried to like play around with like a filter and try to like make it look kind of pastel, but then that wasn't doing it for me either. So then I deleted that and I just went around the entire graphic with like a white pen. Like, I tried to make it look like a sticker, you know? And I thought, well, this will kind of break it up from the background. And it did. It did break it up a bit. You know, the initial concept was cool enough. It met the challenge. But the more I messed with it and messed with it and messed with it, it started snowballing. It started going downhill real quick. I should just left the background white. I don't know. But then if I had left the background white, then I would have been kind of like half-assing it or something. Like, you know, copping out. And I could be more creative, you know. But this is like my first digital drawing in months. But I think the last time I did a digital art piece was like last year, right? Last December or something like that. It's been like 6 months, y'all. It was like almost intimidating in the beginning. You know, I grabbed the pen and I was like, okay, here we go. You know, it's like riding a bike. You never forget, right? And then it definitely took a couple of minutes for me to get my groove, for sure. But once you're in it, you just kind of get sucked in. And next thing you know, it's been 5 hours. And you're like, whoa, I haven't moved from this spot in 5 hours and everything hurts. You stand up, your bones are creaking, everything's popping. You sound like an old house. Yeah, that happened. So, anyway, I guess that's all. That's just all I had to say. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video and listening to my insane ramblings. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.